Hello, my name is Creighton Miller, and I'm in the Horticultural Sciences Department at Texas A&M University. My focus with regard to the zebra chip work has to do with developing varieties that possibly have resistance or tolerance to the disease. It's a very complex disease involving an insect which vectors the bacteria which it deposits in the plant, and then the plant itself. And then in addition to those three areas, there's the environmental influence. So what we've been doing is evaluating a number of potato varieties and genotypes for resistance or tolerance to the disease. We feel like resistance or varietal resistance is the best solution to any disease problems. The work to identify possible resistant varieties is very important for other reasons as well. If we can find tolerant or resistant varieties, this is very helpful to the plant pathologist, the entomologist, and others working on the disease if they have a contrast between resistant and susceptible. We always teach in our introductory plant breeding classes when we're screening for varieties that are genotypes that have resistance to the disease that you try and start with the most advanced material that you can. If we find resistance, it likely will not necessarily be in a finished variety that's ready to go to market. So the more advanced the material is, if it's an existing variety, that would be wonderful. But often we have to go to wild material to incorporate that in to come up with a resistant variety. So we've screened about 900 different plant potato genotypes looking for resistance, and we have wide variability in resistance or tolerance, but not total immunity to the disease. So we've already started making crosses with some of the highly tolerant material or somewhat resistant material, trying to develop improved varieties that carry some of the resistance as well as the traits that are associated with fresh market or chip or whatever type we're breeding for. This is not always easy. Potato is not the easiest species to cross, not as easy as some other species. You run into problems with flowers from one variety and one parent and another not flowering at the same time. Sometimes after the crosses are made, the flowers fall off. Sometimes there's incompatibility in the crosses and the different varieties, and there are several things that can happen to make it difficult just to make the crosses. But it is an important process that we need to go through and try and develop resistant varieties. We have some very effective pesticides now that are helping growers to overcome some of the problems associated with zebra chip, but those pesticides, the insects will develop resistance to those pesticides if they're not used properly. Also, pesticides are very expensive for the producers to use, and producers are natural conservation and sustainable people. They don't want to use pesticides when they don't have to. They'd much rather use a resistant variety. So we're making progress. It's a long process. Could take easily 10 or more years, and a lot of the growers are concerned about whether they're going to be in business next year or the year after, and sometimes they recognize that resistant varieties are important, but a lot of times they're concerned about next year or the following year because they know that developing resistant varieties is a long-term process, but it's an important process for the reasons that I've mentioned.